check me, boo.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So Hulu has another original television show. It's called Little Fires, and it's based on a book from what I've seen. Um, it looks to be promising and really good. So I've decided that I just want to do a review on the episodes each week. So just before we get started, I just do want to let you know it's set in 1997. There are some racial innuendos, so don't get your panties in a bunch when I say something, okay? So we're set in the town of Shaker in Ohio, and the episode opens up with pretty large house being burnt down. You see 3 kids in a cop car, and you see, assuming the mother and father, talking to a police officer, and he's asking who would have tried to essentially kill the mother. We also find out that there is a 4th child. She's missing. They don't know where she is. And just assuming from the way that everyone is talking about her, she's considered the troublemaker of the 4 kids. She's also the youngest. Even the police officer was like, well, she's a minor. So I guess, the charges wouldn't be too bad. Then we roll back 4 months, back into August. So this did start off closer to Christmas time. So we roll back into August, and we are meeting Elena and her family, the Richardsons. Elena is your typical trope of a white mother from a well-off family. She gets up early in the morning. She gets her family ready. She's packing lunches. She's into keeping herself in shape. Elena is played by Reese Witherspoon, who I love. I've been in love with Reese Witherspoon since I've seen her in A Man in the Moon. Love that movie. You see Elena, essentially just getting her family ready for school and for work, her husband, and she's getting for work for herself. So they're giving us, essentially the woman who has it all. She has the perfect family, the perfect house, the perfect kids. We then fast forward to Elena on her way to work, and in true white woman form, she doesn't mind her business. She drives by a car that's loaded down, and she sees that it looks like a black woman is living in it. Of course, she gets to work. She calls the cops, and we find out that the woman living in this car is Mia and her daughter Pearl. Mia, who is played by Kerry Washington. I'm not really sure. I think Pearl's real name is Lexi. She gives me Amanda Stenberg vibes. Like, she really reminds me a lot of her. This character does. I thought it was the first innuendo I got is essentially when the police officer pulled up to the car, of course, to kind of check out the scene. The first thing she tells Pearl is to make sure that she keeps her hands visible. Of course, Lord, we would hate to be shot, honey, for sneezing. Of course, they move their car. You can already tell that Mia is stressed in the situation they're in. We come to learn that Mia is, I'm gonna call her a struggling artist. She may not be struggling, but we'll get into that in just a second. Mia eventually shows Pearl that, hey, I found a house, an apartment here. Let's go check it out. And none other than Miss Elena herself is the renter who is going to show them this apartment. They see this apartment, and it's a 2-bedroom, and Pearl is extremely excited because she's never had her own room before. So that kind of like lets us in a little bit into, their background and their previous life of how they've been living. Pearl is so excited, she's kind of saying things that Elena is catching on to, like, oh, this is a family who's not as fortunate as I am. So she actually ends up leasing them the apartment less than what she was actually asking for. She goes home, she tells her husband, hey, I found a renter, to rent the other apartment. I mean, her husband comes off kind of condescending to begin with. He's just like, oh, you just let, anyone that you don't know into this place that we own. And not only that, it's the woman that you saw sleeping in her car this morning. So he's kind of on the fence about that. In this setting, we get to see more of her kids. You've got Trip, who is their oldest son. He's giving us more of popular teenage boy who all the girls like. You've got their daughter, I believe her name is Lexi. She is a carbon copy of Elena, so she's getting straight A's, and she's doing everything right, and she's saying the right things, and she's not doing anything that she's not supposed to be doing, and she's not anywhere that she's not supposed to be. And then we have Miss Izzy herself. So Izzy is the child in the beginning who we're all saying, you know, we've already been kind of foreshadowed that she's the troublemaker. Izzy is your typical smart mouth teenager. She's the complete opposite of Elena, and we can tell that that really gets under Elena's skin, that Izzy isn't doing everything that Elena would like her to do. Izzy, however, is playing the violin, and she's actually lately not been going to practice. So right as this scene is about to end, Trip is leaving to go hang out with two girls. And Elena's like, oh, we'll take your brother with you. And he's like, oh, he just makes this comment about how Moody is never interested in any of the girls, or at least none that like him back, I think is what he said. So to begin with, I was like, oh, they're trying to tell us that he's gay. I was like, okay, well, all right, that's good. So then we move on. So Elena actually sends Moody over to introduce himself to Pearl, since they're around the same age. And this is when I realized that Moody isn't gay. He's into the swirl. And so you can immediately see that he's infatuated with Pearl. He likes her. And essentially from here, you see that they spend a lot of time together, hanging out, you know, having a good time. Moody tells Pearl that Elena, when she was pregnant with Izzy, actually had to pass on a job offer. So I'm kind of wondering if Izzy feels like her mom resents her for that, if maybe that's the reason why they have so much tension. Or at least that's what it feels like to begin with. Pearl is telling Moody that they don't stay anywhere, her and her mom Mia, for too long, that they're normally there long enough for Mia to do what she does, take pictures, I guess, or create some type of art, and then they move on. And so that lets us know also that they're kind of always living out of their car. At least that's what it feels like to me. Izzy. We get Izzy burning off her hair in the bathroom, and she simply burned it off. What it seems like she simply burned it off simply because Elena complimented her and told her that was one of her best attributes. So to me, it was like she didn't want anything to do with anything that her mom likes. If you like it, then it's revolting to me. So she said she liked her hair. So you've got Izzy upstairs burning her hair, and I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, we're just gonna burn our hair? We could have just got it cut. Like, I would have felt better had she just cut her hair, not burn it off. But that's weird. And Elena actually talks to her husband about this, and he actually brings it up. He's like, you guys argue a lot just because she's not what you want her to be. You want her to be exactly like you and following in your footsteps, kind of the same way Lexi is, and she's not doing that. And this is why y'all argue so much and y'all are so combative. So Elena takes Elena takes Izzy to the hair salon, and outside the hair salon, she sees Mia. So she finds out that Mia is working a night shift job, and once again, she's not minding her business like she should. She finds out that Izzy is working a night shift job, so now she's worried about Pearl. And we've already seen that there is tension between Mia and Elena, and I just feel like Mia is trying to keep as much of her life to herself as possible. She's not trying to say too much. She's just trying to, she wants to move in, do what she's supposed to do, and then get on about her business. And Elena, feeling like Captain Save-A-Ho, offers Mia a job to clean her house. And immediately when she said that, I was like, I thought of the help. I was like, no, ma'am, we don't do that. No, we don't just be out here offering black women jobs to come clean our houses for white women like that. That's not, no, ma'am, we don't do that. So Mia was like, Mia had the same thought. She was like, you just offer me to come clean your house? Like, are you out of your mind? She's like, do you know how you sign off? And I don't think Elena realizes that, because Elena is trying to help, but because sometimes it coming from someone who is well off to someone who doesn't have as much, it might just seem like it's pity. It seems like you're just looking down upon them, and you're sticking your nose where you shouldn't be. So she doesn't turn down the offer, but she essentially turns down the offer. Now, while Elena is talking to Mia, we see Mia packing up parts into her car to build a bike, and this is going to come back into play eventually. Moody had made a statement about he wanted to take Pearl somewhere, but they couldn't go because Pearl didn't have a bike. So in this, we see that Mia is a mother who cares about her daughter, and she's trying to make sure that she's, even though they move around a lot, she's as much of a normal teenager as any other kid, and you can tell that she loves her, because she doesn't want her to have without, just because they move around a lot. Okay, so Pearl is invited over by Moody to the Richardson's house. She goes essentially just to hang out, but she ends up staying for dinner. And during this, we see that Pearl is more than likely throughout the show going to be more interested in Trip. Of course, he's been set up as our ladies' man. So, Lord Jesus, you've got Lexi. I don't know how I feel about her yet. Lexi comes out of her face and tells Pearl that she'll probably get into any college because of affirmative action. I was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like, we're gonna get into college because we're smart enough and we can make it in there on our own, not just because of affirmative action and they have to let us in because of diversity and they can't keep us out of the schools. Like, that's not what we're doing. So we also found out that Lexi is dating a black guy as well, so I guess she felt like it was okay for her to say so Elena, after dinner, she takes Pearl home, and this is where we see that they have similar interests. Elena is a journalist and Pearl is a writer. She writes poems, and she likes literature and she likes to read. So you can see that they kind of, hit it off just a little bit. And to me, it felt like Elena was trying to pry just a little bit, but she didn't get a whole lot out of Pearl. But she drops her off at home, and I noticed that she sent her home with 3 tubs of Tupperware worth of food. So that's another, I'm trying to help. I know you don't have as much, so I'll send you home. And I'm pretty sure that's also to feed her mom as well. But once again, we just kind of need to mind our business sometimes. That's what we need to do. So Elena tells Pearl she's welcome over anytime, and Mia is watching this interaction from through her window, and you can already tell that now Mia already feels some type of way about Elena, but now you tell my child she's welcome anytime, and I'm pretty sure that kind of makes her feel some type of way, that she can't do for her child what Elena can do for her children. The next thing we see is Moody brings Pearl a bike because he still wants her to take her to this place that he said he wanted to take her. So Moody takes Pearl to a junkyard, and we see that Moody has made his safe haven out of an abandoned mystery van. So they're kind of spending their time in there. And on the opposite side, we've got Izzy. Like I said, she's burnt off her hair. We know she's our smart mouth teen. We know she's going through something. We're just not really sure yet. But Izzy and her ex-best friend aren't talking anymore. But Izzy runs into her, and Izzy asks her, why aren't we friends anymore? And the girl just tells her that you know why, and she calls her a freak. So then I'm like, I don't mean any harm, but then I'm like, oh, is Izzy the gay child? That's what I thought. But I was like, oh, well, maybe she called her a freak just because she's not popular like the rest of them. And so her friend is, you know, she's fallen into the trope of just the typical mean girl. That's why she called her a freak. This definitely sent Izzy overboard. This whole episode we've seen Elena try to tell her, be more like this and be more like that. And right before this recital that she's at, Izzy was giving us her best Jade West. She was cute. She was giving her best, but Elena was not having it. Elena said, change. You are not wearing this to the recital. Put this dress on. Get your life together and come on, let's go. So Izzy takes a permanent marker and writes on her forehead, not your puppet, which is clearly a sign to her mother that I'm not just going to be out here doing things to make you look good to everybody else. So all the other kids on the stage are playing their instruments, and Izzy is looking at her mother from the stage. She's not playing her instrument. And I had the same thought that her brother did. Oh shit, because I was like, ooh, Elena gonna snatch her off the stage. But you know, she didn't do that. She was like, okay, we just gonna handle this. So on the way home, Elena gets a phone call, and we see it flash back to Moody and Pearl. Essentially were caught trespassing at the junkyard by some guy from the neighborhood watch, honey. But he was following Mia, and he was following Mia home so he could drop the kids off and also meet Elena so she could pick up Moody. But you could tell that Mia was uneasy being followed because she thought it was the cops. And I'm gonna be so honest, during the daytime, if a police officer is behind me, I am fine. But if a police officer is behind me when the sun sets, I'm a little uneasy. So I kind of could relate to her how she was feeling, because I know she was like, oh Lord, this man's gonna stop me. He's a cop, I'm a black woman, it's dark, like anything could happen. Lord forbid it does, but I mean, it just is what it is. So they pull up and the kids get out, and this is when Elena tells Mia that, oh, he's just you know, the neighborhood watch. He's not a police officer. But Mia is getting on to Pearl, which it's a thing in the black community when you're being raised. Like, we see what goes on in the world, and parents prep their kids for, you know, things that could happen once they're in the custody of law enforcement. So Elena is telling Mia it's not a big deal, it's okay, but she's not understanding it's okay for you because more than likely you would get a slap on the wrist. It's not okay for us because we're gonna get the harshest of punishments for the smallest of things. So you can see the difference. Not only are you seeing the difference in social class, but you're seeing the difference in races between black and white. Mia and Pearl go upstairs and have a very explosive fight. This is where, growing up as kids, sometimes we can be ungrateful for the things that we have that we don't realize we should be grateful for. Pearl tells her mom that, you know, I want to be able to, you know, paint all the walls in my room, but we're never anywhere for too long. And basically giving her the typical, you don't love me, yada yada yada, I'm less fortunate than anybody else, you don't care about me, look what this mom does for her kids, you don't do the same. Now we know different because we seen Mia getting parts for Pearl in order to build her a bike. And in this we see a duality. When they get into their argument, first of all, no mother like a black mother is able to take the things that you say to her and turn it right back around and throw it in your face and make you feel like a fool. So she told me to go to she told Pearl to go to her room since she wanted it so bad. I was like, oh, all right then. So you see the duality of two things. You see Elena standing outside Izzy's room, and you can tell I'm pretty sure Izzy wanted her mom to come in and talk to her and ask her what was going on with her. But Elena didn't do that. Elena walked away instead of having this conversation with her child. And even though Mia and Pearl had this explosive argument, there's this little cute little code that they have that, you know, basically just says that I love you. She knocked on the wall in their separate rooms. She still let her know, even though we just had this fight, you know, I still love you very much. And Pearl tells her, I love you too. So Pearl goes and she returns the bike. She sees Trip outside. Of course, she's excited about that. And he invites her in. He's like, oh, you can just stay and wait for Moody until he comes back. At this exact same time, you see Mia pull up to the house as well. And at first I thought Mia was just there to get Pearl, but hold on a second. So we see Miss Izzy outside in the grass, spray painting, and her art is beautiful. And once again, Mia is an artist, so you see her and Izzy connect on a level. So then we realize each mother has a daughter that is like the other. So you've got Elena and Pearl who connect about their writing essentially, and you've got Mia and Izzy who connect about their art. Mia does take Elena up on her offer to clean her house. And Elena says okay, and her husband does say something about, oh, you're just gonna let a stranger come and clean our house. You don't even know anything about her. But once that's done, she tells Pearl, okay, let's go to the paint store. I'm gonna let you paint on your walls. Kind of letting her know this could potentially be a permanent thing. Now, we had seen a flash that Mia had. It was assumingly a nightmare. She's sitting on the train, and across from her is Jesse Williams. He's staring at her, and she looks fearful. She looks scared. So I love me a good Lifetime setup. So I'm not sure if this is an abused woman and her child running from her husband, or like I want to know like who he is to her and like what their past is. But once they get home, Mia also gifts Pearl the bike that she had made for her, and so I hope in that Pearl realized like, your mom loves you. Because once again, like, if anybody can make anything happen out of nothing, it's I'm gonna say a single mother. Single mothers, they really do a lot. They really do. They make something out of nothing all the time, and then you're always wondering like how did you do this? So with Mia taking up that offer from Elena, there's a shift, because we had already seen the one nightmare with Jesse, but now there's a shift. We're going back to the scene again on the train. Mia is laying in the lap of some woman and they're holding hands. I want to know who she is, but the woman is played by Anika Nani Rose, and I love her. So I don't know if that was maybe her best friend or her partner. I'm not really sure. And then we see Jesse, but Jesse then turns into Elena with a smirk on her face. So that lets me know that this is the symbol of an enemy, per se. Jesse is definitely an enemy. I don't know what the ordeal is, and I hope, in this season we find out. But then it turns to Elena. So now I'm pretty sure, like I said, she had been feeling some type of way towards Elena. Now Elena kind of has not necessarily something over, but now she will be working for Elena and cleaning their household. So the episode ends. We've got Izzy in her room with a lighter under her hand, playing with fire. And so they're trying to go back to the beginning. Did Izzy burn down the house? But then in the same breath, we've got Mia developing pictures of Elena. So I'm like, well, Mia is about to enter into this household. So is Mia gonna be the one who burns down the house? Because I don't know, her and Elena got into it or something. So I am really excited to see where this goes. It looks really, really good. So just leave your comments below how you think this season is gonna go. Who you think burnt down the house? Do you think it was Izzy? Do you think it's Mia? Do you think Mia is running away from we don't know Jesse's character's name yet, but do you think Mia is running away from him, or do you think she's harmed him in some way? Also, I forgot to mention, Elena did do a background check on Mia, and she finds out that Mia is not who she says she is. Mia's name is not Mia. So now we gotta really figure out, like, who is this woman? And now I wonder if Pearl's name is Pearl, now that I think about it. Like, okay, but just leave your comments down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.